Hi, it's Christina from the Sisyphean Journal, and I am responding to some people on X who are insisting that there was, once the National Abortion Federation inspected Gosnell's clinic, they just wrote him off. They had nothing more to do with him. Nothing, not a zip, zilch. Let's see if that's true. This is from the Gosnell Grand Jury Report. If you're watching this video on X, I'll provide a link in the comments below. I'm sorry, I can't provide external links on YouTube right now. But this is going to be verbatim from the grand jury report. First of all, a simple database search conducted by the evaluator from the National Abortion Federation before she visited the clinic in December 2009 showed that at least 5 women before Haynes had successfully sued Gosnell for perforating their uteruses. Okay, so before she even went to this clinic, she knew about 5 successful lawsuits. So the NAF evaluator conducted a site review on December 14th and 15th of 2009. Let's look at some of the things that she observed. Once inside, she found that the facility was packed with so much stuff, kind of crowded and piled all over the place, that she couldn't find a space to put her small overnight bag. She found the facility's layout confusing and was concerned that patients could not find their way around it or out of it. She was concerned that there were plants everywhere, including in the procedure room and rooms designated as labs. Most alarming was the bed where Gosnell told her out-of-state patients were allowed to spend the night. These patients were unattended, and it was difficult to locate the bathroom facilities and the exits. The NAF evaluator watched a few first trimester procedures. She noticed that no one was monitoring or taking the vital signs of patients who were sedated during the procedures. She asked Gosnell about the pulse oximeter that should have been used for monitoring, but he told her that it was broken. Okay. Now, she didn't actually observe any unqualified staff sedating patients. The evaluator did note, however, that while she was talking to Gosnell in his office, a patient appeared to have been sedated by one of his staff. Okay. Going on, the level of medication administered was also troubling to the evaluator. She testified that Gosnell's own description of the effects of his routine second trimester dose, that the patient would feel no pain at all, was a description of deep sedation. She added that that would not really be a safe situation for him to be handling himself. The evaluator noted that Pennsylvania requires that anesthesia be administered only by licensed personnel, a regulation that Gosnell failed to follow even during the NAF review. The evaluator noted numerous deficiencies in the clinic's record keeping, including no notation of RH blood typing and no record of sedation administered or the level of sedation. The clinic's consent procedures also failed to meet NAF standards. Even with the evaluator watching, patients were not informed of the risk of the medications, the sedation, or the procedure itself. Throughout the office, there were patient charts everywhere on desks on this area, the upstairs sleeping area by the sleeping room. There were piles and piles of medical records. Based on her observations, the evaluator determined that there were far too many deficiencies at the clinic and in how it operated to even considering admitting Gosnell to membership. Let's read what the grand jury thought of that. We have to question why an evaluator from NAF, whose stated mission is to ensure safe, legal, and acceptable abortion care and to promote health and justice for women, did not report Gosnell to the authorities. Now, keep in mind, this was mid-December 2009. When the grand jury gave its recommendations, they said, we recommend that NAF reassess the membership of Atlantic Women's Medical Services, the Delaware clinic where Gosnell worked part-time before losing his license in that state. When did he lose his license in that state? After the raid. I looked it up. He lost his license March 2nd of 2010. Okay? So even after the National Abortion Federation inspector noticed all these alarming things in Gosnell's facility, he was still working part-time at this NAF clinic. Okay? We learned that at least 6 patients were referred from Atlantic to Gosnell's clinic in Philadelphia for illegal late-term abortions. These patients paid Atlantic for late-term procedures performed by Gosnell in his Lancaster Avenue clinic. We heard evidence that Gosnell would insert laminary in patients in Delaware and then have them come to his Philadelphia office for the procedure itself. So much for the idea that the National Abortion Federation completely distanced themselves from Gosnell. They didn't let him put their sticker in his window or their logo on his website, but they had no problems having their facilities hand off patients to him. So there goes your whole idea that the National Abortion Federation and Kermit Gosnell had nothing to do with each other.